Joining us on the program to talk all about his ministry and his efforts to promote God's loving compassion through Christ crucified is Father Cedric Pisegna. Father Pisegna is a Passionist priest, and he's also at Holy Name Retreat Center, Passionist Retreat Center in Houston, Texas. Father Pisegna, thanks so much for coming on here on Catholic Lunch Break. We appreciate your taking the time to be here in the studio with us.
Wyatt, thank you so much for having me, and thanks to all your listeners for tuning in.
I want to talk all about Holy Name Passionist Retreat Center, but first I want to thank you. You were there, Father Pisegna, for our inaugural summer speaker series in July. You were alongside Debbie Georgianni and Adam Bly answering questions about the Catholic faith. We had more than 200 people show up on the 13th of July, and you jumped right in. How enjoyable is it for you to attend some of these events where you're talking with people who are interested in the Catholic faith?
I'm so impressed with how many people came out. It was a Saturday night, and there's traffic and all this and that. And it's good to see them there, and they were so supportive. And afterwards, they asked so many questions, and it was good to meet them individually.
Yes, and I know you had answered questions about angels, demons, and how the spiritual and physical world interact. Father Pisegna, what do you think it is about that subject matter that draws so much attention, that at least garners the interest of a lot of people?
Well, we believe in what is seen and unseen, we say in the Creed, and there's so much going on behind the scenes. And as spiritual leaders, we try to help people to understand what that is. Angels, demons, we're in a spiritual battle, and people want to know the truth. They read it in the scriptures, and they want to know what is the reality. And as they talk to us, they give us stories, too, about things that they've been through, possible visions or happenings in their life. And we try to help them and make sense of it all.
And I love that reminder that we're in that spiritual warfare, and that's why we need prayer, we need the sacraments. I want to ask you all about Holy Name Passionist Retreat Center, because in some sense, you guys there, Passionist priests, that's the order of priests that are there, are in a bit of a recovery at the facility in Houston, because earlier this year, the retreat center was hit by at least 2 storms, including Hurricane Beryl. Give me an overview of what was damaged on the property itself.
Well, we have 10 acres, and we have these huge, tall pine trees, probably 80 to 100 feet tall, numerous pine trees. I'm talking about 100 of them. And during the derecho, which is an inland hurricane that happened back in May, a bunch of those trees got knocked over. One of them fell on our residence. They're still fixing it 3 months later. In fact, I was talking to the worker today. He's going to be finishing up tomorrow. So it's been quite a trial because it fell right next to my bedroom. A lot of flooding in where I live in my residence. And we also had some fall on the retreat center. A lot of damage there. We're working with the insurance company, but it's been a trial. As you know, we lost power during the derecho for 6 days, during the hurricane for 5 days. We just bought a new little generator, not to give electricity to the whole place, but to a little piece of it so we can keep the refrigerator going next time. And it's been a trial, but everybody was going through tribulation, not just us.
Yeah, it's a good reminder to continue to pray for all those who have still been impacted by the hurricane. Like you said, not only you guys, but so many people are still trying to figure out how to move forward, how to finish up all the damage and the repairs and things like that. In general, tell me about the Holy Name Passionist Retreat Center. What kind of programs do you guys host there? What goes on there on a regular basis?
We're the best kept secret in Houston. We've been here for 77 years. Holy Name Retreat Center. It's on the west side of Houston, Bunker Hill Village. And we have retreats, first of all, for the priests of the diocese. They come every January and February. And every priest in the diocese just about has been at our retreat center on retreat. The cardinal comes there from time to time. Bishop Bitolo comes there from time to time. They do private retreats there. But most of all, we have Catholic men's and women's retreats broken down into the different parishes that come. And we give those Catholic men and women's retreats all year long. In addition, we have married couples retreats. We host Protestant groups. And especially we have 12-step retreats, Alcoholic Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous, Al-Anon, Gamblers Anonymous, Sex Anonymous. So we have all the anonymous programs. In fact, during the weekdays, every day we have groups gathering for these 12-step retreats. not the retreats, just the meetings themselves. But we also have retreats, and the retreats boil down to people come on a Friday dinner, and then they spend all the way till Sunday lunch, and they hear talks, they have prayer times, we have Mass, they have times to walk the grounds on their own. We have a beautiful Stations of the Cross. We have a labyrinth. We have all kinds of different things there. And the heart of it all lies within the talks, the fellowship, the great food, private rooms with a bathroom. Again, Holy Name Retreat Center, best kept secret in Houston.
In addition to all of that, you guys have also hosted this radio station, AM 1430's prayer breakfast before. So it's such a nice facility. And again, we'll continue to pray that all of those repairs come along swiftly as you guys continue to work on all that. The part of the vision for the Holy Name Retreat Center and the work that you do as a Passionist priest has been in touch with the vision of St. Paul of the Cross. Father Pisegna, for people who are not familiar with St. Paul of the Cross, tell me a little bit about him.
St. Paul of the Cross is an Italian saint. He lived in the 1700s in Italy, and he was a preacher. Don't confuse him with St. John of the Cross, two different saints. He was an itinerant, which means a missionary preacher, calling people to the cross to meditate upon the passion of Jesus, his sufferings, and also the salvation, the forgiveness that Jesus won for us on the cross. And he founded retreat centers in Italy, and now we're in 60 countries in the world where people come to us to make a retreat, to hear the good news. And also there are missionaries like myself who travel around preaching parish missions and also are involved in media. And the heart of it all is the preached word. St. Paul of the Cross was big about preaching the gospel, especially the Jesus crucified and what that means, and trying to bring people back to God. Very, very important.
So he established this Passionist priest. Tell me a little about the order in general.
Well, as I said, we were founded in the 1700s. And first of all, as Passionists, we profess vows, number one, to the passion of Christ.
Okay.
No other community does that. And we wear a sign on our heart that means the passion of Jesus Christ. So that's our first vow, along with poverty, chastity, and obedience. Then after we're vowed, a few years after, we go through school, Catholic Theological Union in Chicago, then we're ordained a priest. And you can either be assigned at a retreat center and do ministry there, or become an itinerant preacher, travel around going to different parishes. I have preached in probably about a third of the parishes in Houston in this diocese, including the cathedral in Galveston and the cathedral here, and given talks just about in every parish, it seems like. And I've met so many people in the Galveston-Houston diocese, and people are so full of faith, and they're vibrant about their faith, and they're hungry for God. It's beautiful.
It sure is. And I know that's true for a lot of people who also attend retreats there at the Retreat Center's campus. One of the things you say in your ministry and the work that you do is live with passion. And I'm going to ask you about you guys' upcoming gala, which is called Discover the Passion as the theme. What do you mean when we talk about live with passion, discover the passion? I'm assuming that's connected to Christ's passion itself, but what does that mean?
Yeah, the word passion means suffering, and we're all familiar with the suffering, the passion of Christ. Many people have seen the movie by Mel Gibson, The Passion of the Christ, and it means suffering. People are suffering and going through their own passion, but passion also means enthusiasm and being celebrative and living with exuberance, trying to become all that you can be. That's why I name my television programs Live with Passion. It's a connection to the Passionists, to the passion of Christ. But I'm trying to help people to really realize their potential and become all that they can be. And our gala that's coming up October 18th is entitled Discover the Passion. And that means both. Discover Jesus crucified and discover all you can be by living with passion.
And of course, you guys, for the gala that's upcoming on Friday, October 18th, You guys will be welcoming people from all across the greater Houston area because, of course, people will be buying tickets and tables who support you guys. I assume that's also because, you draw so many people from across the greater Houston area
Yes.
for retreats as well. Give me the location and what kind of things are going to be going on for the gala.
This is the 6th annual gala, and again, it's October 18th. Normally happens at our retreat center, but we've changed the venue to a very beautiful place. It's called the Bell Tower, 901 West 34th Street in Houston. And basically it boils down to a beautiful dinner. It's going to be an Italian night, music and dancing, a live auction, a silent auction, a balloon pop, raise the paddle, a raffle, whiskey and wine pull, open bar. It's going to be a beautiful evening. We're inviting you through this radio program. If you have any connection with Holy Name Retreat Center, please support us. Tickets are a little pricey, $250 each, but it's going to be totally worth it, and it supports our retreat center. And even if you're not connected with the retreat center, I'm going to be there, and I would love to meet you. Please do come and support our retreat center. If you have any connections with the 12-step program, this will support them. Some people can't afford to come on a retreat, and we have a fund where we sponsor these people, and this helps support that fund. So really what you're doing is you're helping people to come on retreat, you're helping fund the retreat center, and you're going to have a beautiful evening.
Very good. And I know that you guys have such a rich community there at the Holy Name Passionist Retreat Center, people who want to come back and converse with you and converse with several of the other priests like Father Nicholas. Tell me about the joy that it is to be part of a community like the Passionist priests.
Well, we do. We live in community. We're not diocesan priests. And the difference is diocesan priests will live here in Houston, Galveston, all of their lives, and they're under the cardinal, under the bishop. But we are a little bit different. Franciscans, Jesuits, Dominicans, Basilians, we're different because we belong to a religious community, and we answer to what's called our provincial. And in our particular community, and it's always changing, there are 7 of us. We call it you've heard of the International House of Pancakes. We call it the International House of Passionists because IHOP, because we have an Italian, we have a priest from India, we have a priest from Colombia, and the rest of us are Anglos from the United States. We vary in age from the low 50s to the upper 80s, and it's a joy to share meals with everybody, to live together, and especially to pray together.
In addition to all of that, which keeps you busy enough, you also like to get involved in the new evangelization, whether it's TV, radio, the internet. You have your own social media pages that you try to do. Tell me why that's been an important initiative for you to try to get Christ's message out there.
Well, like Guadalupe Radio, we have to believe that not all people are coming back to church, so we have to go to them. And this media ministry that you have here, and I so support you, goes outside the walls of the church to all people that happen to be listening or maybe tuning in or looking for something, and we call people to Christ. I've been involved with radio and television now for 18 years, and I'm happy to say that I have a television program on EWTN, the Eternal Word Television Network, and it airs every Sunday at 8:30 Central Time, every Sunday, 8:30 in the morning Central. It's called Live with Passion. And I also have an ecumenical ministry where I reach out to Protestants. I'm the only Catholic on the Trinity Broadcasting Network. That's every Sunday at 6 a.m., so you can find my program on TBN at 6 a.m., but especially EWTN, 8:30 a.m. every Sunday. And my purpose is to try to inspire people in their faith, but especially to reach out to people that may not have faith or Catholics that have fallen away, to try to draw them back to church, but especially to a relationship with God.
You had mentioned some of the missionary work that you've done. You visited a number of churches in the greater Houston area and all across the nation as well. If I'm thinking correctly, Father Pisegna, I think you actually celebrated Mass recently for EWTN, actually on the campus in Irondale, Alabama.
Yes, I go down to EWTN probably twice or 3 times a year to the studios. Irondale is just east of Birmingham, only about a 10-minute drive from the airport. And I go down there and they allow me to preach live. And you haven't lived until you preach live in front of, 100,000, a couple 100,000 people or so tuning in. And it's such an honor and a privilege to be able to preach the homily. I normally go there on Sundays because that's when they have the most people tuning in. And I also have book interviews. Doug Keck, who is the COO of EWTN, he has a program called Bookmark, and he interviews authors. I've written 25 books. He interviews authors about their various books. And I'm happy to say I've done 6 interviews with him, sold a lot of books through EWTN, and it's such an honor and a privilege to be with those folks because they have a great faith and they are strong in keeping the faith and proclaiming the faith to all people.
We're so happy to be able to partner with you with all this, Father Pisegna, and so glad that you're able to participate in so much. How do you it seems overwhelming to me at first with all the stuff that you have to do, writing more than 20 books and everything. How do you kind of keep yourself grounded?
Well, prayer is where I keep myself grounded. I'm at home and in the community, and I do a lot of praying and reading, preparing my scripts for television. But I have to tell you, Wyatt, that I really love what I do. It's such an honor and a privilege to be able to be a priest and proclaim the gospel. They gave me a sabbatical probably about 7-8 years ago. And on my sabbatical, I took a trip west. I went through the national parks and did that. But I had a lot more time left in my sabbatical. And wouldn't you know, I preached missions, I wrote books, and I proclaimed scripts on television. So I did on my sabbatical, when I didn't have to do any work or anything else, I did what I wanted to do. And what I want to do is ministry, and I so enjoy it.
Amen. I know a lot of people are listening to the work that you do, and I know that it'll continue to expand and hopefully draw more and more people to Christ and his church.
Yeah, I really want to inspire believers, and a lot of Catholic people are finding out about me. A lot of Protestant, about half my donors and benefactors are Protestant because I'm on that Trinity Broadcasting Network. And they say, I remember one donor said, Father, she said, I'm not Catholic, and I thought once, never in a million years would I ever donate to a Catholic priest. But she says, you proclaim the truth and I want to support you. And I do have a website, and I hope people will check that out. It's simply frcedric.org, fathercedric.org. We just redid the whole new website. It's beautiful. You can see my programs there. You can listen to podcasts there. Check out my bookstore there, 25 books, CDs, DVDs. I have inspirational materials there. I have a great Facebook page. I have 2 different women who find all these inspiring posts, and they post to my Facebook page every day, have a lot of followers on there. And I'm hoping that you'll become I don't want to say a follower, but I hope that you'll check out my television programs and my podcasts and listen, and I believe it's going to inspire you.
Very good. And just to recap again, Holy Name Passionist Retreat Center, the 6th annual gala is coming up on October 18th, and you can get tickets or tables now. You can visit the website for Holy Name Passionist Retreat Center, which is located in Houston. Again, the theme for the upcoming gala is Discover the Passion. Father Cedric Pisegna is Passionist priest, and we thank you so much for being here on the program and talking with us today.
Wyatt, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for all that you're doing here with Guadalupe Radio and the outreach that you have in Houston. It's fantastic.
It has been a joy to be with you. Coming up after the break, we'll take a closer look at the liturgical calendar for the month of September. You're listening to Catholic Lunch Break here on AM 1430.